Maybe you're like, Robin, that's not my problem. My problem is not short form content. In fact, it's just that I don't know where to start. Like, I want to pursue my passion, but I don't know where to start. Where the hell do I start? Okay, I have the answer for you. Very good question. All you need to do is, as you see here, just the other day I was thinking 14 was just an amazing age. Like, you didn't have to do anything much, just had to exist, had to hang out with your friends, and there's nothing else to do. And it was just a pressure-free environment. There was no expectation on you as much, and you could do whatever you wanted. What did you imagine your future self to be at the age of 14? This doesn't have to be something that your parents either told you to do or something you couldn't do because of financial commitments. But what did you really want to do? When life just moves on, we tend to forget what we were actually intended to do. Sometimes you just need to go back and find this again, because that is actually probably the answer to all the problems you're having now. Something that you felt you needed to do all the way back then could be the solution for your problems right now. Now, even though you might have had a vision of what you wanted to do when you were 14, maybe not clear enough, but you had an idea, I wanted to be somebody. Why do you think you weren't able to follow through? Well, it's pretty easy. Probably because you did not have a focused vision of where you wanted to be. But most importantly, you need that focus. Once you get a few ideas, you need to learn to focus on what you want to do eventually. And for that reason, you need to be able to concentrate. So I think the first problem that you probably had was that your focus was here and there, and it was getting distracted by every single thing that was out there. So maybe your friends told you about something you wanted to do. Maybe they were exploring their own passions, and in doing so, they told you, okay, why don't you try this? Why don't you try to become a doctor? Why don't you try to become a lawyer? Why don't you try to become a businessman? But maybe that's not what you wanted to do. Maybe you wanted to become a construction planner, and you got fed these ideas of becoming a businessman because that's what gives you money. And ultimately gave you different ideas, not things that you really wanted to do. And so it clouded your imagination and your thought of what you could do. Same thing with your parents as well. Maybe they had good intentions. They want to expose you to more ideas. They might have introduced a few ideas, and maybe your head got muddled up as well. But there's also another factor that you're forgetting now. That is what the online world tells us. What we see on YouTube, what we see on Instagram. Because those things actually impact our lives even more than what our parents tell us, what our friends tell us. You know why? Because we live half our lives online right now. If you ask me, YouTube and Instagram is probably not the best place to get real life advice where you can actually implement things just like that. For that reason, you need people close to you, people in real life who can teach you through their own life experiences. Just before you run off and do that, I want you guys to check out one of my videos. It's linked somewhere around here, where I tried a challenge for 30 days where I stayed away from all kinds of short form content. If you can stay away from short form content and pursue advice from real people instead, you're going to see that you don't need this online world really. And the best way to build those relationships is actually by spending time with them. So before you do that, check out this video, and after that, stay away from this, and I promise you it's going to change your life. So maybe you're like, Robin, that's not my problem. My problem is not short form content. In fact, it's just that I don't know where to start. Like, I want to pursue my passion, but I don't know where to start. Where the hell do I start? Okay, I have the answer for you. Very good question. All you need to do is, as you see here, open ChatGPT first. Yeah, this is going to give you your answer. Now with ChatGPT, just open it up. So the main thing that you need to find is the 100 ideas that you want to pursue. So just type out 100 ideas for me to find my interest in what I need to do. Okay, I mean, you can paraphrase it as you like, but once you find it, it's going to give you a list of 100 things. And without fail, ChatGPT can do that. That's the thing. Now, you can just see over here a list of all these things you can see, right? Like taking a dance class, start a garden, try a new sport, right? Take a painting, cooking class, new language, travel to a new country, start a blog. These are all good ideas when you think about it. But here's the idea. You're not going to be doing any of these things that are listed here, right? So it's not like you're going to be doing woodworking. It's not like you're going to be, going to exhibitions and museums. But the thing is, once you have a list of all these items, right? You have a list of 100 items. Now, this is when You're not going to take all these 100 items. In fact, you're going to choose your top 10 things that you choose and that you're going to actually think about trying out. So let's just take, for example, if I'm going to go through this, maybe I want to try a new sport. So I'm going to add this. So open a Google Doc, very easy for you guys. And let's put that as number 1, try a new sport, right? Now you go to number 2. Maybe I want to join a hiking club. And the reason for this would be because this is going to teach me more about teamwork, which would be essential in one way. Maybe I want to start a small business, so I'll add that as well. And okay, let's just make it 5 for now. So yeah, I want to maybe learn about new philosophies, which would expand my horizon from where I am right now. Maybe it's going to teach me new things. And maybe I want to join a debate club because that's going to help me get my arguments straight and deliver my points better. So let's just say these 5 things, right? It's going to teach you maybe networking. It's going to teach you to meet with new people. It's going to teach you to argue better. And this, in my opinion, for me, would actually work very well because these are the things that I feel I need in my life right now. So if I just choose these 5 things, you guys can go ahead and do 10 things. But if you have just these 5 things, then you can at least have a framework of, okay, I can start here. And this is just based off a list of many other things, right? You can see there's a lot of other stuff which I haven't taken, which also I could be doing. But what I need you guys to do is just shortlist a few items out of here and just choose maybe 10. If you guys want to start slow, then just take 5 things and try to pursue those 5 things. Try to participate in those 5 things and involve yourself there. That is how you're going to learn what your interests really are. Because not everybody can become a writer. So going to a writing workshop might be helpful for you. But if you're not going to be doing any kind of writing, if you want to be doing manual labor, then what is a writing workshop going to do for you? But then same thing with a genealogy class. That's not going to help me. So I feel there's no point of actually trying that. But it's not even just that, because sometimes it's not the thing particularly that you learn that you're going to be able to do. Like if you learn about, let's say, social media management over here, it's not that you're going to be pursuing social media management necessarily, but if you try it out for a while, you might see, are you a creative soul or are you not? And that's one thing that you can figure out through these things as well. So even if you don't like a few things, you can take a few things on board so that you learn about them, and then you see, okay, maybe certain things make sense, certain things don't. But that's the whole part of it. That's how you find what is fun and what is not. Also think about this. Do you actually have a desire to learn what you're learning right now? Or is it because somebody is telling you to do it and that is why you're doing that? Or maybe you're doing this because a friend is doing it and you want to follow that friend. Is that why you're studying what you're studying right now? Because let's just say that you want to be planning the construction of skyscrapers and it has been your dream from a young age. But instead of pursuing this interest, maybe somebody close to you said, well, I feel you're probably better at, let's say, economics. And so you're sitting in an economics class, going through supply and demand, how your output changes, how your interest rates change. But you don't really care about that because that's not you. That's not what you're interested in. You'd rather be drawing up the structure of buildings, right? Designs of buildings to improve them. And that is what your heart desires. But that's not what you're doing right now. Sometimes, if you're in a situation where you cannot escape, try to find a reason for studying this. Let's say, okay, you're stuck with economics, but with this economics degree, eventually you can pursue something related to architecture where maybe you take care of the financing of buildings. Maybe buildings are your passion, right? When you see a building, you admire it, and that's what you want to be involved with. So the motivation doesn't have to be that economics is what I want to study and that is my life goal. But maybe I'm studying economics so that I can get involved with buildings, so that I can deal with real estate, which is also dealing with buildings, but you can get through by studying economics. So there are different ways to think of things, but most importantly, find a reason for what you're doing and why you're doing that. Maybe let's say you want to get money. So my opinion, if you want money, if money is your main motivator, the best thing to do is probably learn about money. And where do you learn about money? Finance. And how do you use money? You probably invest it in the stock market. So if these are the things that you need to be doing, then you probably need to just study about the stock market. This is just simple logic. So then you want to get into the stock market, not because you're a fan of the stock market, but rather because you want to make money, you want to see how that works. And for this reason, when you come down to it, eventually it involves the stock market. So if you are as invested as you are, then you'd probably go after books, reading books about investing. You'd probably try to hack the system, see how it is that people invest, why people invest, where people invest in. And eventually you're going to get your answer, exactly what other people do to invest and how they invest their money as well. And eventually you'll get a hang of the money thing. You'll see, okay, this is where I have to use my money so that I get the best profit. And if I put it here, I'm probably going to lose my money. And it's as simple as that. If you have a desire for something, if you have a reason for studying the thing that you're doing right now, you will actually learn to love it. But most people don't actually love what they do. So what you have to do is make up a scenario in your head which equates to you doing that thing, and eventually you doing that thing is going to get you that final result. Because like I was talking about investing, the reason that one would be interested in the stock market is because maybe they're interested in money. So they want to see how money works. And so to see how money works, you go into how money can be used once you get the money. And then the best way you see is you invest in the stock market to earn even more money. So then you want to learn about the stock market, how to invest in the stock market to basically make more money, because you're obsessed with money. And so just find a reason why you can do what you're doing now to make it more interesting, to make it more like you're chasing something, like you have a purpose to pursue. Funny thing with this is that you could be in any of these levels, right? Most people would be in any one of these levels. Either number one, your focus is just going here and there, you can't keep your focus straight. Or number two, you just don't have the desire to learn what you're learning right now. Maybe that's not your forte. Maybe there's something else that you're more interested in which you haven't discovered yet. And relating to this point as well, number three, you probably don't even have an idea of what you want to do in the first place. And I'm pretty sure most of you guys are probably falling in that third place where you don't know where to start. Well, you could just do the exact thing that I mentioned there, asking ChatGPT for the things that you can do. Take 10 things out of that, and then eventually list that onto maybe Google Docs or onto your notes page, and keep this in a place where you will access it. And then you rank each of these tasks based on, okay, which is the most likely that I will do it and which is the least likely, and rank it from 1 to 10. And that's how you'll get the things that you probably need to pursue first, and then the things that you can pursue last, based on your interests, obviously. And once you've done all these activities, then you can maybe develop your own mindset. Maybe I'm a creative mind, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm more of a monotonous work kind of guy. And it's gonna differ based on who it is and who is actually doing this. But once you actually try these activities out, you're gonna see, okay, I have a kind of personality, I have a kind of vision of what I want to do. And so not all jobs will work for me. Now that you figured out that your interest is something else, now you want to take that next step, right? So what is that next step on your journey? That you can find out by clicking one of these videos here, and let's get your journey off to a great start, and smash the subscribe on your way out. And always remember, never stop dreaming. See you all